How y'all doing today, YouTube? This video ain't gonna have much to do with trucking. It's gonna be more about um, just being a better version of yourself. And I can't tell you what's the right thing to do for you, but I can tell you the ways that the things that I do for myself, for me to be better. Whatever better is, just for me to work on just being overall just a better person in general. Excuse me. One of the things is taking a step back from what I think I know. So I would call that just pride, because sometimes you can it's easy to believe that you're right in a situation. It's easy to believe that your knowledge or perspective is superior than the next person's own, because you've been right so many times in the past, and that can mislead you, and it also can be like a dead end. Recently I realized how proudful I was, and I thought that I was a good person. Not to say I'm a bad person, but I just thought that I didn't deal with it as much. But that was pride right there. The fact that I thought that I didn't deal with it as much was pride. So I'm reflecting on a couple of things about myself that I can say that I was proud of at the time, like not physically cheating on nobody, like on my lady or not, or not putting my hands on her, or not desiring to put my hands on her, not calling her out her name, not playing with myself, not watching, pornography, or none of that stuff. I was taking pride in that. Like, oh man, yeah, well, I don't do this. I ain't did this, I ain't did that, right? And I'm sitting back here and I'm thinking, I'm like, well, I used to struggle with the same things that everybody else struggled with. So I used to struggle with lust, and you still battle with different things. Not that I still battle with that. That's not an internal battle. It used to be internal. It's more external now. So it's not even the same. An internal battle is way more something than external. External is just like you see a piece of cake in a store and you like it. It look nice, but you can't have it because you really don't need it. So it's like, man, this cake would be good, but whatever. Or it's a nice looking cake, whatever. But you just keep going because you got other important things to tend to. That's what I would say is the external battle. But the internal battle is like a whole nother level of intensity. It's like a void that you're trying to fill, and no matter what you put in, it's never enough. So I figured that out, and from that moment, it's like been peace. So that's ultimately what I be working towards, is just like peace. I guess knowledge, understanding, but peace is like the goal. So what I do is I run through me, who I think I am, what I think I know, and I listen to what people be saying, and then I sit and reflect on myself and see like, dang, boy, you messed up here, 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 here. Now you was warned right here, right here, right here, but you thought you knew better. And it's not to say that what I did was just in I'm just giving a basic scenario, but it's not to say that I didn't know. Ultimately, I'm where I'm supposed to be. So the lesson was a lesson I was supposed to get. I was supposed to have the experience that I had ultimately. But, well, I don't even want to say but. At the same time, I possibly could have avoided some of the things that I went through if I would have adhered to a different knowledge. But it takes understanding. It takes being humble. He who seeks knowledge begins with humbleness. So humbling yourself is one of the most challenging things. A lot of the times we can't humble ourselves, because our pride is too big, and that's what gets in the way of knowledge, your pride. Because if you gotta humble yourself, that means you gotta get rid of your pride. So humbling yourself is like I guess in a way, one of the toughest things to actually do, because in some way, like, some people care about the image, some people care about if people just gonna talk about them, or the fact that things and how they wanted to be. It's just different reasons. Everybody got different things that they care about that stops them from humbling themselves, you know. But if you work on that, humbling yourself, like pride. Like, I got a pickup truck, 1995 GMC, and whenever I crank my truck up, I like the way it sounds. You know, you crank up, it's loud, you know, and it look all big and stuff. So that's I be happy when I hear that sound. Like, it does something. I get a little feeling. I guess you would call it dopamine. I get that little dopamine rush. And when that happens, I said, that's my kids. I don't know. She's sleepy. They're going crazy. But when that happens, whenever I get that little rush, it just like, it almost like empowers you in a way. So you pull off, leaning forward. You know, you hit the gas a certain way so it can boom, boom, you know, make its noise or whatever. And I'm just like, man, that's pride. But it's subtle pride, because you just kind of fall into it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like you hop in the car like, you know, I'm finna be prideful. You know, no, you get in, and once you hear it, you just, everything just hit. You might turn the radio on, roll the windows down, whatever, because you proud of your ride. You proud of the way that, you know, how you rolling. But I mean, like, in comparison to what? You know, like, oh, this is what I got. This is how my truck sound. It's just like, oh, I don't cheat, or I don't put my hands on my old lady, or I go to work, I take care of my kids, or you know, and you may not be doing these things to portray that you're better than people. You may be doing them to, for me, I was doing it, I would say stuff like that to show people like, hey, it can be done. But at the same time, I was taking pride in it too, because I was happy that I was doing it. And I realized, like, man, I'm like a 6-year-old kid that just learned how to tie their shoe, and they happy. You know, like, oh, look, mama, daddy, I learned how to, look, I tied my shoe. Like me, I remember, I think I was like 5 or 6, and it was my birthday, and I had a blue Mongoose, little bike, and it had wheels on it, but I didn't want to ride with the wheels on. I told my mama to take the wheels off, so they took the wheels off of the bike. So me and her was outside. It's a whole party going on. We living in Washington Heights, in Jacksonville, Florida. I don't know if y'all know what Washington Heights is. If you're from there, you know. But that's just, I spent a part of my life, the earlier part of my life there. Maybe like from the time I was born to, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7. So we living over there. I'm outside, and my mama, she with me. Like, it's a whole party going on in the house, but she outside helping me learn how to ride my bike. So she pushing me, holding me, I fall. She pushed me, she hold me, I fall. She pushed me, she hold me, I fall. She said she out here with me for a little minute, and then, you know, she got to go and make sure her house is in order, because people in her house. So she go back in the apartment. I'm still outside trying to figure it out, and I fell, and then eventually I got it. Eventually, like, it caught. Like, oh man, I was pedaling. I knew how to ride. I was happy. It was a reason why I said that story. Yeah, I was 6. That's why I said that. I was 6, and I was so happy that I knew how to ride the bike. So it's like I had that same excitement when it came to the things that I do as an adult. And then it's like, in comparison to what, like, it's not like I gained all knowledge. It's not like me and God has fully become one. It's not like I don't struggle with anything. It's like, no, you still struggle with stuff. You know, it ain't like you was spotless the whole time. No, you made some mistakes along the way. So you can't really give yourself the credit that you're giving yourself. You know, yeah, you may be doing a good job, but that don't mean you can't do better. So that's what I was on, man. Like, just sitting back like, man, you always can do better. You know what I'm saying? You always can humble yourself. You always can. It's always work to be done. It's work happening outside, but it's work to be done internal. You know, and I feel like the more you work on yourself internally, the external will start to reflect. And even if it don't reflect immediately, you irradiate peace within yourself because you no longer at conflict with that part of yourself. Whether it's pride, lust, greed, sloth, wrath, adultery, whether it's any of these things, envy, like the war is like maybe you won that battlefield at that time, you know. So that might have been World War I within yourself. You still got World War II and III that you got to deal with before you leave. So you know, you never know. But you won that one, good. Go back to the drawing board and get better. You know, it's a constant, in my mind, I believe that it's a constant ladder that we're supposed to be climbing. It's like going to school from Head Start till you graduate, and then you go to college and you pursue a PhD, and then you decide to become a professor. And then it's like, maybe you got your doctorates, you know, and then at that point you would say, well, they got, I guess, most of the knowledge. No, now you just a student. You start over and become a student because you always were a student. You just start gaining badges along the way, you know. So in my mind, it's like I can't allow myself to get old mentally by assuming that because of my age and because of whatever it is that I experienced that I'm all knowing or that I just got it all figured out, because I don't. You know, I don't have it all figured out, and I make mistakes too. And I reflect instantly. Like if I'm driving and I get frustrated with somebody, it's like, oh man. Right after I get frustrated, I gotta be honest with myself. Dude, you was tripping, man. Come on, you gotta do better. You can't let yourself be so moved by what other people do, even if it was stupid. Don't be so bothered. Don't call him out his name. I'm working on that. This is, you know, it's not as bad. It used to be horrible, but yet it's still there. So it's like it's there, which is bad. I need to fix it. And you would think, oh, fix it right now. It's like, no, it take work. And not saying that you can't just fix it immediately, because maybe I can. And I just have to figure out how that go, you know. But at the moment, as I go through my experiences, I just be checking myself. So that's it, man. That's what this video was about. Just checking yourself, you know, watching yourself, making sure that you're working on yourself at all times. Because as you work on yourself and as you become better, eventually the people around you and the things around you, they'll start changing too. So the effect is just better for everybody. You know, by you being more of a light, you inspire people around you to become more of a light. So that's it. I'm finna eat my dinner, finna get ready to go to bed. Just wanted to share that with y'all. Y'all take it easy.